And he's
No, I'm not gone. Don't. No, I had to walk over to the other computer and click record.
And he's gone. I'm sorry if I sound terrible.
What? Why?
Children, JJ. That's my... I sounded like this earlier today. Are you ready? Hey, how you doing?
Oh, that's bad.
That's how I sounded
in your house.
Oh, you weren't supposed to talk yet. I didn't give him the heads up that it was a secret. Well, Michael's back, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I had a feeling that was going to happen. I had this little planned thing about telephones, and then I was going to say, and you know who else could pick up the phone? And then it was going to be Michael. But I didn't warn you about that. So we're back to our old selves here on episode 345 of We Were Gamers. Michael's come back to save the podcast.
Back to full strength.
Oh,
Thank God.
Man. Thank God. We were floundering there, man. I don't know if you saw those videos. We were doing great. We were having a fun time, but I don't know if they were any good.
You guys definitely seem to be having fun.
Unclear how many more Steam Deck videos we could make without having to like find other content.
That's a good question, JJ. I'm having a good time futzing around with that Steam Deck. It's been a little weird going in and having to, like, even after EMU Deck, like if I want to emulate something on the PlayStation, and it doesn't come through a RetroArch emulator. So even Emulation Station will launch standalone emulators, which we didn't know. But
it's a front end.
It's a front end. I thought it was just a front end for RetroArch, but it's a front end for literally anything installed. So if it's launching things that are not RetroArch compliant, it's still you need to go in and like set shortcuts and do all that sort of finicky stuff over and over again. So even that's not perfect, but being able to be like, what game I really want to play again and don't want to spend $80 for? Jade Cocoon.
That sounds like a good plan. I don't think that game is worth $80.
We're gonna find out. I got it installed and working. Now it's time to actually play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Retro stuff, kind of interesting.
I did fiddle with some of those retro settings because you got me on the Emulation Station's pretty good. There's Emulation Station DE.
Yes.
Or desktop edition.
Yes.
Which I installed and was using to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night last week.
Ooh.
It's a pretty good game. But there are still like a couple of things with that where I'm like, oh, I want to turn this weird emulator option on. I can't bring that menu up in here. This is I don't have the extra keyboard settings set. Because you have to set those in the emulator, not in Emulation Station.
Exactly.
And I have to go find the emulator and bind the key press so that I can do the weird thing to turn scan lines off or whatever.
Yep.
And
this is exactly the issues that I've been running into. Is yes, this is great, but also it's still tinkery. I don't know. I don't know.
If I just wanted to play the game, I was playing the game within 10 seconds of installing the thing. But I wanted to play it the way I wanted. Now you got to fiddle.
If you want to get out of it.
That last 5%.
Well,
exactly.
I was watching, as a backer of Tim Rogers' Patreon, have these videos that he has sent out. And one of them, he's playing Boku no Natsuyatsumi 4 on the PSP. Except not on the PSP. He's using... What is it? PPSPH or
PPSSPP? I think
PPSSPP. One of those, but he's playing it on a 4K screen. So he has the emulator doing a 10x render.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
It's amazing. It was amazing. It looked amazing. I was watching it in 1080p, and it still looked whoa. The backgrounds, you can tell they're a little fuzzy because you can't re-render them. They're just static. Some of them. But the re-rendered models were like, well, this is PlayStation 3 quality minimum, you know? Weird and cool. I don't know, Michael. Did you follow along with our videos?
Yeah, I didn't get to finish the most recent one, but yeah.
Did you? You didn't make it to the part of the most recent one where I announced my retirement from owning a lot of retro equipment.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah. It's a big deal, I think.
It's a big shift.
Shift rhymes with it doesn't rhyme with
this
ship.
This is literally the perfect transition. You guys don't understand.
Okay.
Because we're talking about shift. We're going to talk about a ship.
I was just about to say shift doesn't rhyme with ship, but it sounds similar. Didn't I? I didn't even get it out of my mouth.
Have you guys ever heard of
slant rhyme? Good point.
Ship of Harkinian?
Not until you sent a text message about it, and then only then, after digging into what is a ship of Harkinian direct,
Why did you look it up? I told you not to look it up.
Oh, you told me to look it up.
No, that's not what I typed. You read it wrong. All right.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not going to ruin it for Michael.
Makes perfect sense.
I'm not going to ruin it for Michael.
I have not actually looked it up.
Hey guys, you heard of this game?
Yes, this game is near and dear to my heart, and it looks like it is running on your PC.
Yep, it is. This is the Ship of Harkinian.
No, it's yes, it is. You're right. It's the Ship of Harkinian. Mm-hmm. Yes. For people not on the YouTube, what is it a similar game to, JJ?
No, it's not a similar game. It is a PC port of The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, made from a dumped debug ROM, which people can get on the internet. Check it out there.
Decompiled, right?
Decompiled and recompiled natively for the PC. Huh. And I want to show how much cool stuff this thing can do. Sorry, there's like a audio coming through here, so it's hard to tell.
I don't have it on. I think it's muted.
Perfect. Okay.
So
yeah, we're just looking at it.
So
that's actually better.
So JJ, I saw what this was after your post because I misread your thing and said, "Oh, I guess I should look up what it is so we can talk about it." I only read a little bit because I knew you were going to talk about it a lot, and I didn't want to like ruin whatever you were going to say.
Do you think the N64 controller is weird and wish you could just use like a normal controller?
Yeah,
rebind every single key in the game.
That's real nice.
What's this whole right stick thing though? That's weird. What's a right stick? They didn't have that on the N64.
Sure didn't.
No, they had.
Oh wait,
they had
a middle stick.
Middle stick, and then
they got this
two
whole menu
two
here
D-pads, basically.
This whole menu here of enhancements.
So as I was
down to controller settings,
as I was selling my N64 this week, I realized the N64 had two D-pads.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, they just separated the buttons, but it had two D-pads. Who thought of that?
No one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
Nintendo.
I don't know if you guys remember us talking about it, but I did end up buying a Retro Fighters controller for that system, which attempted to try and make it the N64 controller into a normal controller.
Okay.
It just rearranged all the buttons, so like the Z trigger on the back was like this R2 triggers, and then the L and R trigger were still above it, from the original N64 controller. And it moved the stick to the left, stuff like that.
This one, Ship of Harkinian has all these options. I'm under controller configuration here. Right stick analog. Hey, this game now just plays like a normal game with a normal camera. You could just use the right stick to control the camera.
What?
Oh, man.
It has a camera?
Dude.
How?
Yeah, just normal. Recompiled the game. You can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I guess you could
3D,
make it render.
so all the textures are there. Theoretically, you could spin the camera around.
How do they deal with the off-screen stuff that's supposed to render to come onto screen?
They just render it when you're on the screen and not when you're not.
I guess they fixed the bugs that would.
Oh, dude, this column here. If you guys are looking, there's so many enhancements. Like, here, do you want to just like save some time?
Oh,
there's like
text
speed up the
speed.
text.
Yeah, 5x sounds good.
You can change the Big Goron's forge time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Do you think that climbing ladders and vines takes a million years?
Yeah, you should just make it
this
faster.
slider up to like 500x, and you'll like shoot up the ladder.
Okay,
Oh, so-
having watched a ton of speedruns, the fact that you can speed up King Zora moving over on his throne is hilarious.
Yep. And so, besides all these like really interesting, there's like difficulty modifiers.
Ooh,
It's like,
you can
all right,
pull
let's, like, turn
graves during the
damage off.
day.
There's a whole menu of cheats. You can just like turn infinite anything on and no damage or whatever. And there's 100 million menus for randomizer stuff. Oh, do you want to play the randomizer? Here's 1 trillion configurations you can do for this to set this up to be your randomizer. Oh, do you want to like, those cool things that streamers have to like show you the checks and all the various like things that you do or don't have?
Yeah.
Hey, here it is. You can just pop it open and they'll just highlight it for you when you get the thing. There's no work. It just does it.
So does this have the thing that all the people that love Skyrim have done and have texture packs you can add on?
Oh, not only that, it has texture editors.
Oh man. So you could like upgrade this to like 4K or something?
Oops, where is it?
Graphics.
I gotta find that. No, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is
the
one in here though, that allows you to like turn on rainbow mode and like randomize colors of things. It's like, hey, do you not like Link's tunic? What if it's a different color? And then the red tunic is pink and the other tunic is red. And you just like make all kinds of things, whatever you want. And like you can have it play rainbows when you pick stuff up. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do with this thing.
Wow.
That's great.
I am amazed that they continue to not be in Nintendo's crosshairs for this thing.
So this doesn't this game, right? Ship of Harkinian is you have to provide the ROM files, right?
Oh.
When you download this from their Discord, you can join for free. Search it out, Ship of Harkinian, just how it sounds. It's a GitHub database, and it is a compiled set of things that require you to input a ROM.
Oh. So you need to own
specifically
and dump your own.
No, because unless you have a PAL version debug ROM, it won't do what you want.
Okay.
I don't have that. I have an NTSC N64 version.
Yeah,
and I have a 3DS version.
This won't do what you want. But look, it's not very hard to find the version that's needed. You can just search for it. They give you things to search for that will make it very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find it and provide it to this, and then it will be able to play the game. Because if you don't provide the ROM, it doesn't do anything. This is not what this looks like without the ROM, right?
Yeah.
But it is great. I mean, like, you can also see, like, man, these models sure look nice. Like, this is running at what, 60 something FPS, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pushing 70.
Yeah, pushing
cool.
70 here. It supports all kinds of crazy things to like interpolate frames between the standard N64 frames so that you can get 60 FPS without screwing up the physics and doing all kinds of crazy things by actually rendering that many frames. It's a really, really cool project. And I just wanted to show this off a little bit because I saw a streamer playing it and I was like, oh my God, you can do this yourself.
Look at that draw distance.
Yeah, you can turn draw distance off in the menu. You just go in there and uncheck it, and it's like removes all the fog, removes all the level of detail stuff, so everything renders at highest quality. It's cool, man. It has like a trillion settings. I don't even keep all of them up. There's too many to show off here, but
yeah.
I thought this was like such a cool thing that you could do because, like, it has all these presets too for people who've like played or not played Ocarina before. You can set it to be default, which is just straight up, hey, play the N64 game. You could set, like vanilla plus, where we get you some little quality of life stuff. We speed up the ladders, we help you skip the text boxes. We'll do like some little quality of life stuff, but it's basically the game. Then they have like all the enhancements, which like turn it into a completely different game, right? It's like skip every Navi cutscene, skip all the like stuff you don't care about at the beginning. Right, like lets you get into actually playing the game. Just straight up start after Kokiri Forest. Let's anyway. There's a billion options. I can't possibly go through them all. And then it involves stuff that was like available in debug builds but never came out in like the final versions. I don't know if you remember, Andrew. Do you know what version of Zelda Ocarina of Time you have?
The probably first release because it's a gold cart.
Was Ganon's blood red?
Oh, that's a good question. I can't recall. It's been a long time since I played my cart version and not the 3DS version that I have.
So that was a thing that they changed at some point where one of the later versions, Ganon's blood started being green and not red. All right, you want to fix it though? They got the checkbox. Turn it on. They also have a bunch of debug cutscenes and fixes for all kinds of weird bugs or like enabling of bugs, right? They've removed bugs that existed and speedrunners use that you can turn on and off.
That's funny.
So yeah, a really, really cool thing. And this is running natively. I'm not like running an emulator here. This is using Windows and rendering this game, which I just think is so cool.
Well, props to them. This is awesome.
All right, I can close this here. Beep.
That's awesome. Whew. I don't know how we follow that. I think we just go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound good? Good pod? Yeah, that's kind of...
I've been really enjoying all this retro stuff. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is like the coolest thing.
I'm going to definitely end up down a spiraling hole of retro stuff. Seeing so many people start to play retro stuff again. I think it got into and became a niche for a while where it was like, ooh, I bought that expensive analog thing. Or I deal with like these really complicated things on my computer in order to get it done. And now it's just like, I don't know. You got a Steam Deck? You could probably just emulate everything from before 2004,
Yeah. Ship of Harkinian runs on Linux, by the way.
Oh, so it runs on the Steam Deck natively is what you're saying.
If you wanted to. Yeah, I'm just saying.
just breathe that into the microphone very quietly. Just
FYI. FYI. But you know what else runs in all kinds of places, though?
I don't.
Yo, Michael, you still on that Vampire Survivors?
That runs on literally anything.
You know it.
So what have you gotten up to at this point?
What have I gotten up to? So I think I've played through all the main levels at this point.
Okay. You bought the DLC for the game at this point or no?
No, I'm still just playing on my phone.
Is the DLC available for the phone version?
Not that I'm aware of, but I haven't gone and looked at the store since I first downloaded it.
That's a good question. I will look it up while you guys are talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but I found a magic scroll, JJ.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's got some unique new challenges.
Sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
a scroll.
Yeah, so there's a magic scroll that's hidden in one of the levels, Andy, and is
it on the map? Is it a question mark? Will I be able to find it when I get there?
You'll be able to find it when you get to the right level.
Okay.
But yeah, so when you collect the scroll, you get a new menu on the main screen called Secrets.
Oh. And
Secrets is in two parts. So the first part is that it drops you, I think it's 15, sort of obscure-ish hints on tasks to complete within certain levels.
Okay.
And if you manage to complete the task, you get new unlocks. So that's part one. And then part two is a text entry field that just says cast spell.
Cast spell? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so one of the hints in that list of 15 is cast the spell, and then it gives you a random string of text to punch into that.
It's not random.
Oh.
Okay. It gives you a string.
Yeah, it gives you a string of text. It's a specific string of text that's an allusion to a code you could enter for your name in Castlevania Symphony of the Night to start in luck mode, I believe.
Okay.
Oh.
And the character you get when you cast this spell, Michael, have you used them?
I have not used them yet.
They're terrible. But
Because
I think
it's a luck. It's got a character with like a full luck stat or something.
So
Yeah.
I think it's similar to the way it works in Symphony of the Night, is that when you are in luck mode, all your stats are horribly low, like so low, but you have a huge amount of luck. And I think it's the same in Vampire Survivors. It lowers like a bunch of other stats, but the
Oh,
character
bummer.
is super fast and has luck.
Yeah, the
And-
character's description is just at least they're lucky.
Luck in this game isn't great.
You know, it's
I
not
didn't say it
bad,
was
though.
bad.
Yeah,
I didn't say it was
I've been
bad. Getting an
finding-
extra choice is good.
it's not the only thing luck does.
Oh.
But it's the only like really obvious visual thing until you start getting into like some of the crazy stats and the stuff in the back. Like once you get the arcanas and stuff. I
Okay.
don't know, you guys doing
Yeah.
arcanas? I assume you are, right?
Yeah, slowly collecting some of those.
Yeah, I've been
don't know.
working on filling out my list of the arcanas, and some of them give luck bonuses to certain weapons. So it's like, oh, if you have this weapon, you will deal more damage based on this thing, scales with luck or something like that.
Man, I need to play this game a lot more than I play it. I play
Yeah.
like 30 minutes a week.
But I mean,
some
that's
of the some of the
ahead.
characters that you get, Andy, just start off a run with an upgraded weapon instead of a normal weapon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Do you want to just like start with the evolved axe? Here you go.
Or infinite daggers.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I haven't found the ones that start off with the evolved garlic or the evolved book yet, but I think there probably are some.
Oh, I'm sure they get there. I mean, it's just like before where he like eventually filled in all the weapons and now you got everyone with every weapon or something like that. That's amazing. No DLC for the phone yet. Sorry, bud.
Well, the wait continues.
Yeah. Well, since you're both back here and you both have been following D&D recently, since you've gotten the new books you were hoping for with the Dragonlance novels, I get to ask you both a question.
Mhm.
What's going on with D&D?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I try to
answer this
stay
question.
I try to stay off and out of the internet fracas as much as possible these days. But this one got everywhere. Like the news, literally.
Where to start? Okay, Michael, how much of this are you aware of?
I've skimmed an article or two,
Okay.
so I'm aware kind of the highlights.
Is it gonna affect Dragonlance?
No.
No, in the essence that this is a problem between Wizards of the Coast and people that publish open source D&D stuff, basically.
So not fans directly, but fans of things
People
that
who
are
don't
related.
have people who aren't using Wizards of the Coast's IP. Right? Dragonlance is using Wizards of the Coast's IP, and so therefore they have some kind of agreement signed.
Okay.
Right. Whereas when people, this stuff has all been based on the tabletop D&D stuff, right? So we're not talking about video games or books here, really. We're talking about tabletop materials.
Oh, okay. So
someone
no
wants to-
like Forgotten Realms stuff. Like this is
Right.
like
All
based
that
on the
stuff is-
gaming side of it.
All that stuff is owned by Wizards wholly, right? You can't
Okay.
you can't put Drizzt in your adventure without
I
coming
can.
up with like,
I can't. You
And
come and
you-
stop me.
hey, their lawyers will. They
Yeah.
will come and sue you. So this was all based on like, if you want to put out an adventure that uses D&D's rules, but you don't want to like include D&D's rules in your thing, but you just want to put out like a thing that's, some new IP, it's an adventure book for D&D system. There was this this open licensing agreement from Wizards of the Coast called the OGL that basically allowed you to do that, right? It's like use the rules of D&D, but none of the actual like characters, none of the IP, just the normal rules, right?
Okay.
How hit points work, how statistics are allocated, things like that, right?
Got it.
Wizards has come along, and actually, I mean, the final update to this we'll get to at the end of the discussion.
Oh, there's an update to this. Okay.
Well,
Yes.
maybe depending on how far when you read your news article. The Wizards decided that this update was written in a very long time ago, right at this point, and meant to be like infinite and open and unremovable, just like forever and ever. Use this license, whatever.
Okay.
And they have since come around and said, actually, though, what if we got rid of this license and did a whole bunch of different things, including like allowing us to use the content that you make.
Ooh.
Also, you paying us some amount if you sell more than X percentage of things. And you can't use this for cryptocurrencies or scams or hate speech, which is great. But
that sounds good.
Also, we get all your money. So, like, a real mixed bag and like mostly bad, right?
Okay.
I think was the general consensus for this first thing that came out. And to be fair, it came
so
out
this is like a. I mean, it sounds like they're
something they put out.
It sounds like they're trying to modernize their agreements to be more like a Roblox style thing, where it's like, oh, look at this cool thing I made and I sell in Roblox, but 90% of it goes to the Roblox company, not me.
It was not as bad as that, but yes, it was the kind of thing where like, oh, you're making all this stuff off D&D. What if we get a taste? And that taste scales up the more you make. So there was this came out, right? It was leaked by who knows, and the community backlash was like swift and universal of like, this is terrible.
Okay.
Right. The people that make Pathfinder are a huge group, right? Do you guys know what Pathfinder is? I assume.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a D&D product.
Originally
related D&D related product.
Pathfinder First Edition used this license, right? So they used the mechanics of D&D 3.5 and then built on it to do a whole bunch of new Pathfinder specific stuff, right?
Okay.
Pathfinder 2.0 is a whole brand new thing that's separate from D&D. It's just a tabletop RPG. It's not really related. The people that make Pathfinder, though, I mean, Pathfinder First Edition is still very popular. And they came out and said, like, A, we don't think you can do this legally. We will go to court. B, even if you do take us to court and we lose, we're going to put out a different license that says we're going to put out these other rules that will be open forever and unrevocable and like looked at by lawyers that say like there's nothing we can do to get rid of this. You can use this for free forever for all time. And they're trying to screw us. Everyone come look at this stuff and look how great it is. And everyone was like, hey, this is kind of great. What if we all just did this? And Wizards of the Coast comes back and said, well, wait, we're talking about changes. This was a draft, really stepping back from it. They put out another version that supposedly was, going to be better. It removed some of the bad provisions, but not all of them. And, had some issues, and some parts of it were better and some parts of it were the same. And then the people were still like, yeah, but this thing is just the same thing we had and it's free completely and there's no other like problems. Why should we? You've met us halfway, but we could just go all the way back to where we wanted to be over here. Right. And now the final update is that like, actually, all right, fine. We're not doing any of this anymore. Just kidding. We're going to license the whole thing under Creative Commons. You guys just have at it, whatever, who cares?
Wow. And
needless to say, this is just a huge self-inflicted L, right?
Just put your name in the news for no reason, huh?
It's just like taking out your gun and shooting yourself in the foot. That's what they did.
Look at my bazooka. I blew up my car.
Yeah.
Facing the wrong way.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is about. And, so people feel all kinds of ways about it, depending on how you feel about D&D and the rules and they claim, they'll say we came at this from a good place. We really wanted to stop like people putting out like hate speech using our rules and cryptocurrencies and these other things. But then people are reading between the lines. They're like, they just want to take all the money from people doing virtual tabletops and like, I don't know, man. I feel bad that they can't just like let a good thing be, they have to like infinitely monetize. And so D&D is making a lot of money. How could we make more money?
Or maybe D&D isn't making that much money.
D&D is making a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Well, and the timing is really poor too, because they have a movie coming out.
Whoops.
And you wonder if part of that was intentional on their part, thinking, oh, we have a movie coming out.
We better get ahead of the monetization.
Right. Get ahead of the monetization of all the people who are like, maybe I should check out D&D.
And I mean, they also have supposedly, they have a new edition coming out sometime soon, supposedly. They have a virtual tabletop system that's supposedly coming out with that edition. And, the thought it was like, hey, we're going to move to this new license with this new virtual tabletop. Now nothing is compatible with the old one. You have to use our stuff. Welcome to the D&D platform kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I had heard they had some sort of online platform.
So I believe they do have that platform.
Okay.
And one of the things that people did to show their displeasure was cancel their subscriptions to it en masse.
Oof.
Yeah, it was a big drop in subscriber numbers.
Man, I'm glad I don't read the news because this is fascinating to hear about.
Yeah,
cool.
And I am not in the tabletop RPG community, really.
Yeah. We aren't in general, but I know we were at some point D&D players.
Yeah. Right.
I don't harbor any ill will for D&D from my past. I don't have time to play anymore. We got really into Warhammer Fantasy, after D&D, which was a little bit more complicated of a game. And less also at the same time.
Yeah, but even Warhammer Fantasy used the D20 system, right?
No, they eventually switched off that to their own dice, remember?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
To get away from D20.
From D20, because D20 was licensed under that.
Plus, then you can sell dice.
Which they do love selling dice, Games Workshop.
Well, we're on RPGs. So it's time to talk about our favorite non-MMO, non-J, non-gacha, I don't know how to classify it because the more I think about it, the less classifying it is. Champions of the Continent.
Oh, yeah.
There's been so much going on.
Well, they had a major update that we just happened to have coincide with you returning. Gee, I wonder why that is. He's back to gloat, JJ.
I know, man. Mr. Paid Content over here destroying all the arenas that we can't do.
Finished all his arenas. He's finished the tower.
I still have Gertrude to go, which
I'm sure
still seems daunting. And I think that you guys are only like one arena fight behind where I am. And you're both ahead of me in the tower, so.
Well, I'm gonna finish 50 tonight, probably.
Yeah, there you go. You're 10 floors ahead of me.
We haven't talked about it in a long time, but the music in the tower goes hard.
It does.
It does, yes. I'm glad you brought that up because it is great.
It's so good. I don't understand how they keep turning out good music for this game. It's just like, you've got to be paying somebody a good amount of money to make this good music. This game better be making a good amount of money because I want to keep having good music. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I only got through floor 40 today, but yeah, it's been it's interesting. I think I will enjoy this as a fun thing to do a few times a week when it gets to the upper floors, because I expect the fights to get very difficult based on the difficulty of some of these EX fights. So I'm gonna guess floors 90 through 100 are gonna be real rough.
Yeah, I mean floor 50 is level 60 refights of the masters of whatever in their hard forms with only 3 weaknesses. And you have to do it in 10 turns to clear it the first time.
Yeah, see, that's one where you're kind of going to need to know something about those weaknesses, or you're going to have a rough time.
I mean, so I got battered pretty hard because I didn't know what the weaknesses were.
As those refights that you can do from the book? They're different?
No, because there are not as many of them.
Yeah, they're different. So Herminia schooled me because I didn't have any of her weaknesses in the party. But I could finish one of them in 2 turns if I had 2 turns.
Sure.
Instead of 1. Yeah. I think the tower is interesting. It's weird. I wonder how much you'll use it and how, after you clear it, when you're not making that much income from it, it really is useful. It seems like they've really,
it
gated the currency.
Purpose of it. Yeah, the only purpose of it is to level those ultimates, right?
Yeah.
The only thing it gets you is the currency for the ultimates.
But you don't
level people's ultimates. Who cares?
But you don't.
More.
What?
There are items that drop on the higher floors to upgrade some equipment.
Okay, but for now, now, if you get to floor 50 and you finish all the missions on every floor, then only the EX floor refights might get you. Where do you start getting orbs again other than just nut farming? I don't.
Exchange. That's a good question.
Because what's the point in the tower once you clear it all? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's the exchange, right? That's the only place that's repeatable, really.
Yes. Yeah.
The stuff you get out of the garden.
Because once you clear floor 50 and you beat all the missions, the only thing you got from refights, from what I could tell, was experience nuts.
But I think that's not the point, right? The point is to get those traveler seals, to get those interesting items, to get the orbs for the first time, and the challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge.
Because some of the characters, look, let's straight up be real. Some of these ultimates suck, dude. There are some of them that are just, they're yes, they're better than normal skills, but the normal skills you weren't using either.
Yeah. Yeah. All the 3 stars have ultimates, right, JJ?
Yeah. I unlocked a few of them.
Why?
There's a couple. So there's actually one, I think, that a bunch of people really like.
Billy,
yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
For speed strats, because he's one of the only characters that has a combined defense and speed down debuff, I think is what it is. An AoE.
Yeah, so it debuffs all enemies in defense and speed. And you can trigger it really easily because he's a 3-star character. So you can get his ultimate off, debuff all the enemies, and then, your next turn immediately go into massive damage mode with your super optimized team, right?
Okay. I guess
so. I leveled him, but are you leveling Nana, the level 3-star warrior who has a sword nuke?
Well, you had to do it once.
Yeah, in the tutorial, right?
Yeah, and I think you have to do Jose once in order to get through a memoir.
Yeah, I think it's Nana, Jose, and someone else.
Connie, the 3 characters you start with.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look, you're not going to level any of those characters or probably use them ever again.
Unless you want feats, I guess.
Yeah. And so, at the point that you're worrying just only about feats, you probably have other content you could do.
The exchange is just fine.
Yeah, you don't mind
exactly.
through the exchange.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but and then...
I mean, a lot of characters are going to get ultimates, though, that we don't have ultimates for. And, leveling up a 5-star ultimate takes a lot of gold stuff.
So the other thing, though, is that a lot of people are saying, hey, really what matters is get the ultimate, and, leveling it to level 10, not worth it.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And so, I think I was looking online at a tier list for this earlier today, and a lot of it is hey, here are characters whose ultimates are basically turn them into 6-star characters.
Okay.
There are only
Lynette.
Lynette and who?
Ophelia.
Oh.
Their ultimates are just super broken.
Look at Mr. Paid Content over here saying he's got Ophelia, just subtly, just being yeah, Ophelia, guys.
None of that was paid. It's all free.
Sure.
The then there's like a whole group of characters who like. Okay,
Welcome
these
back,
guys
Michael.
have
Hate away, friends.
these guys have good ultimates that it's like, all right, it's worth leveling them up. But I think, is it the max level you need an awakening stone for,
Yes.
Michael? Is that the deal?
Yes, to get to
A
level 10.
5-star. Yeah.
A 5-star to level 10.
And so a lot of these other ones that are all really good, it's like level them, but like you should use the awakening stone for awakenings before you bother using it for the level 10.
Okay.
Then there's a class below where it's like, all right, maybe you should use the awakening stone for this level 10 before awakening the character. Right? Because like maybe they don't need the stats or like the extra, you're only using them for one skill anyway, who cares or whatever, right?
Sure.
And then there's the people where it's like, look, just get level 1, it's fine. And then there's the people where it's like, dude, who cares? Why are you doing this?
You gotta link that list. I gotta see that.
Yeah, it's on one of the Reddits for a sec. I'll find it.
Man, there's a lot of quality of life stuff still missing from that game, like auto playing the screens and stuff like that. One thing, since I've recorded like tons of the actual game. Man, I'm getting really stuffed up during this podcast. Oh well. I've recorded a bunch of the game, but sometimes I'll be doing something like a traveler story. Like I had to do Alfin's traveler story because he popped up when I pulled like this last week, along with Ulbrich, and I was doing Alfin's traveler story, and there's like a scene in there where he starts getting bit by a dog. Michael, have you done this one?
I don't have Alfin.
Oh, okay. I won't ruin it
Look
for
at
you.
Andrew dropping the like, oh, I have one of the best possible characters. Who's like,
Is Alfin that
guy,
good?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, he's
For
like used in,
Speedcraft, yes, he's
every
the
damage
character.
thing.
well, anyway, let's just say there's a point when Alfin says, "Bite me harder," and I really wish that you. I really wish that you could go back in the game sometimes and rewatch scenes. Is all I'd say. You know?
I liked that. I linked that post in our chat.
Okay.
The one I saw anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to get on some of that quality of life stuff. But I'm still having a good time. I like the tower in so much as I think, JJ, you're right. It will become this week I will try the 10 free times to finish off a mission, maybe, you know?
Yeah. It's like, you know what? I'm going to put together the crazy team. I'm going to do this mission for power only. And let's see what I can do. Oh, God,
Yeah.
I have no good power characters, but let's see how it goes. Right?
I was pretty concerned about like wasting turns on a floor and making sure that I could finish all 4 missions in one go. And now having gotten to the top, it's like, oh, next week I'll be able to finish all 10 of those floors that I need to do the break this, break that, break this, break that. And I won't have to worry about only having 4 people. So I can like nuke down all the characters afterwards, you know?
Yeah, the only floors where it actually matters on are the EX fights.
Yeah. Because
one
you
of
have to finish
one of
them all at the same
requirements
time.
is all of them at once.
And the
Yeah.
other ones, it's like, oh, you get 10 bronze stones. Like, I'm not getting out of bed for 10 bronze stones. You know? I'm too lazy for that. No.
That's level 1 for Billy. Yeah. Well,
Who cares?
their 6th anniversary, I think, was a success for the players. But yeah,
6 months.
6 what did I say?
You said 6th.
6th anniversary, 6 month anniversary. That's, my brain is getting foggy and my nose is getting stuffy.
We hope it lasts 6 months. That'd be cool.
6 years?
6 years.
We're all over the place.
Contagious.
Michael,
What would you guys do without me?
Michael, you were supposed to be helping the podcast, so tell us instead about your Marvel catch-up, because clearly my JJ and I was just about to say Michael and I don't have. I'm just, oh God.
Take a break, guys. Yeah, so we had a little bit of downtime to catch up on some Marvel in the last couple of weeks, which has been good. So
JJ, where are you at?
I've seen, I think, most of the stuff he's about to talk about.
Okay,
So it should be fine.
I have not seen Wakanda Forever.
I've seen
and
that.
Miss Marvel. That's it.
Okay, so we're still short the rest of She-Hulk, which we're watching now, and
What a weird show.
the most recent two movies, so Thor and Wakanda.
Thor's so good.
The new one?
I liked it.
Okay.
Sounds like that's going to be a discussion to revisit.
Yeah, look, I didn't dislike it. That's not. I don't want to sound.
I didn't
too
say it's the
negative.
best one.
Yeah, it was. I would have words if you did. That's for sure.
It's better than Dark World.
You
Low
mean the
bar,
movie that
clear.
Yes, we're now at the bottom of the ranking lists.
I mean, if you're doing the high jump, you can step over that one, right?
But what about the stuff you did see, Michael?
Yeah, so we watched Multiverse of Madness,
Weird movie.
and then not what I expected. I didn't.
JJ, you seen that one?
Expect a hero
Yeah.
turn villain premise.
You didn't expect the hero turn villain? Really?
No, not in
After
this one.
after the Wakanda show, where they told you she's not a villain anymore, and then they were like, "Oh wait, no, she is." Like full blown villain, and also feel bad for her. What a weird movie.
And the one where they end with her studying the Darkhold, which is like a legendarily bad
Yeah,
book.
they're kind of like all over the place a little bit on that one, huh? That Wanda character just really fell apart, I think.
Yeah, it felt like they didn't have a good. They needed to write her out, and they didn't have a great strategy for it.
Yeah.
I mean, she got her own show in order to get her there, and it just sort of didn't match. You just
I think the thing that
hard right turn into villainhood and complete evil.
I think the thing that bothered me about it was that the show was quite good, I thought.
Oh yeah.
And the movie, like, because it was a Doctor Strange movie, then is like, well, we're spending all our time with Doctor Strange. We don't get any development on the villain. And then you're like, which, like, again, why do they always do this? The villains are like integral parts of the stories. People like, tell the story, please. And then you just don't get any characterization for what Wanda is up to. And it's just like, she evil now. All right, Doctor Strange, fix it. Cool.
Well, especially if you didn't see WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Because
imagine.
the last time you saw her, was in Endgame.
Yeah,
Right,
so she's
yeah.
yelling about dead
Right.
kids, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of on you at this point. Marvel has basically told you, like, all right, these things are like it's expanding, and it's funny because previous to that movie, we had always kind of been of the opinion like that it wasn't going to matter. None of the shows were going to matter, and then they did the 180, and it was like, well, WandaVision sure matters. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And it's probably not done mattering either because Vision is still out there somewhere. The new Vision.
Yeah,
And,
New Vision's got to be the new villain, right? Because now Wanda's gone.
And what's her name? Pulsar? Quake? What's her name?
Oh, she's got at least two names in the comics.
The girl from
The one who
Inhumans?
showed up at the one at the very end of that show?
Oh, Quake is different, I think.
I think it
Okay.
is Pulsar.
I think
it
it's Pulsar.
Pulsar?
The one you're talking
Alright.
about that has Miss Marvel, not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel like powers.
Monica. Rambeau.
Monica, yeah,
Monica. Yes, that's who we're talking
that's Pulsar. Because Quake is from the Inhumans show, I think. Isn't it?
I don't know anyone's name. I'm not indoctrinated enough in the comics.
Anyway. Yeah.
Also, I've been playing a lot of Midnight Suns, and they have deep comic book pulls, so it's very
Yeah.
possible I'm getting influenced over there.
Quake is she started out on what's that show? Oh my gosh. Agents of
X-Men.
Shield. Agents of Shield. In the MCU, she was on Agents of Shield, and then I think she was on that Inhumans maybe. I don't know. Move on. Michael's supposed to be talking about Marvel.
There's so much. But yeah, so we moved on from there and then watched Miss Marvel.
Oh,
which is
okay.
really entertaining.
Yeah.
It's pitched a little bit younger.
Sure.
Like
Yes.
it's pitched to a younger audience, but
Okay.
it's definitely entertaining. Like the girl they have playing Kamala Khan is really good.
Is it
Yeah.
pitched younger than that Hawkeye show was pitched?
Still have never seen the Hawkeye show, so I don't know how to
Probably
answer
about
this
the
question.
same. Maybe a hair younger.
Okay.
Because I don't
you should
remember-
watch that
I don't
Hawkeye
remember-
show, JJ.
I'm not saying there's anything bad with it. I just never got around to it.
Oh yeah. But you watched
So
you watched the
I'll-
Netflix Marvel stuff, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, never mind. You don't need to watch the Hawkeye show then.
Okay.
I'll give you a comparison. So I'm pretty sure that in Hawkeye, the girl is in college. She's a freshman in college.
She is a freshman in college. Yes, she knocks down the tower at her
the bell
college.
tower. Yep. In Miss Marvel, she is a freshman in high school.
Okay, so yeah, it's pitched a little younger.
I would say it's a teen.
Tweens,
Mm,
teens, not tweens.
Teens.
teens,
Okay.
yeah.
Teens. That's fine. shows
but
can be
yeah,
good.
the story does a good job of being entertaining. So we enjoyed it, and it's short. It's only
Okay.
6 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing a second one of those. I don't think it was very popular.
No, they said they tease at the end that she'll return in Marvels.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, so the Captain Marvel sequel.
Gotcha. I like all these little one-offs that they're doing. I gotta just do 6 episodes, whatever.
Yeah, it's nice to just like tell a little story and be done.
Really curious what you think about She-Hulk when you guys finish that one.
I have finished She-Hulk, but they have not. Right?
Yeah,
That's why
so we watched.
I don't want to talk anything about it until he gets to the end.
That
We watched
sure.
the first 2.
Oh man, the
Don't
ending
say
of that.
it. Shut up, Andrew. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Say nothing.
I was just.
We got to.
Can I type? Can I type? I want to type what I was gonna say. 'Cause
Text me personally.
it was gonna be funny and not a spoiler. You're gonna have to report back though.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
please. When you guys
We'll-
finish, let us know. We want
We'll
to
check
I
back
want to
in
talk
on
about
this
it.
one.
Yeah, Marvel catch up is a thing now. I think it's like homework, right? Like eventually you're like, oh man, I'm really backlogged on this project of watching Marvel.
Feels like that a little bit.
I don't mind the homework. I mean, it just is now, right? Like I've invested. I'm pot committed. Let's just do it. There's a weird.
Extends like all TV is like that. I feel anyway for me, Michael. You know, there's a 3rd season of His Dark Materials out.
Yeah, I know.
We
Gotta
just
get to
started
that.
watching that. They've been doing weekly episodes of that for like a couple months now. I was like, oh shoot.
I mean, we just finished. Since we're talking about comics, we just finished the first season of the Sandman over here on Netflix.
Oh yeah, we still have to watch the bonus episodes of that.
Oh yeah, we haven't watched those yet. Those are just little bonus things. Did you watch that, JJ?
No, it was never really high on my list.
Okay. Well,
What'd you think, Andy?
I had one problem with it, which was a physical, visceral problem, which was they used some sort of anamorphic screen. They used some sort of anamorphic lens-ish look in order to elongate people and make it more like the drawings of people.
Okay.
You remember the diner episode?
Hard to forget.
I'm not going to say any more than that.
Yeah.
The combination of content in that episode, camera angles in order to, let's say, amp up that content, and the anamorphic craziness of that lens made me physically ill, like nauseous.
I can see that.
However, beyond that, this is a great show. Very good show. Very cool that it came in just 2 parts, basically. There's like a first half and a second half to the season, and they're just little contained stories and fulfilling stories as well.
What do you guys think about that sort of first half, second half cadence? Because Netflix has started doing this now. They did it with Stranger Things recently, right?
Yeah.
And this now.
I really liked the cadence of it with Sandman. I didn't like the cadence of it with Stranger Things, so I think you have to kind of go in with the right plan. I was a really big fan of the 3-episode arcs in Andor, and I won't stop talking about that. So, smaller format, more focused is the answer, And Sandman is nothing if not focused.
I just think it's important that you have you let the showrunner know the format and make them have a plan, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Andor turned out perfectly, because they had a plan for these small arcs. They did the small arcs. That was the show. Set of small stories together making one larger story versus trying to, tell a 10-episode season and
in tiny little chunks the whole way. Yeah. I'm having that problem.
Then intentionally cutting it up at episode 7 to make a cool cliffhanger so they can do a second part or whatever. That stuff kind of sucks.
We're having that problem with Mythic Quest on Apple, where they cut up everybody into different groups, and they've got this story that's just dragging on and on and on in season 3, and it's just this could have been broken down into tiny chunks, you guys, and told in separate stories, but it's just dragging forever. Oh man, on Apple, I know you guys don't have Apple, but that Severance show that got all of the chatter, also a show that does very weird camera stuff to make you uncomfortable, but story-wise pretty good. They might be heading down the road of Lost, where they don't know actually what all the mysteries are, and then they get in trouble, but who knows. For now, it seems to be pretty good, and it's directed by Ben Stiller. Yes, that Ben Stiller.
I assumed there wasn't the second one.
Yeah.
Lost is I'm shaking my finger. That's a dangerous road to hoe. That show went a lot of places and got a lot of people's hopes up and then ruined them at the end.
They can go very literal with it, and I'll be disappointed if they do, because then there's really no mystery. They've already told you everything. But it seems like there's something metaphysical maybe happening in the show, and I really hope so, and that they have it all planned out.
They learned the lesson.
I hope so.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Even if it's not the answer that everybody thinks it is, right? I don't know.
Yeah. To be fair, the end of Lost is controversial, but it's not that bad.
Oh no, it's not that bad. It's just everyone talked that show to death for years, right? And so when the answer is exactly what people have seen foreshadowed for years, they're disappointed. And it's like, well, you overanalyze things. You become a critic, not in the sense of like a reviewer, but like a literary critic, where you're critiquing and analyzing. Then you're gonna understand things, and then you probably are gonna figure out the ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the first internet craze of people getting together, and this giant internet brain figures out where people are going, and it's like, well, sorry.
Yeah, that one in particular had so many of the first internet show kind of things.
Yeah,
and the show was not built that way, right? And yeah.
Well, I mean, then they also had stuff that they just decided never to answer, like, why are there polar bears?
When right. Well, but if you were planning the show from the beginning with this ending, you get to explain everything at the end, being like, it's dream logic because you're in limbo. Spoilers for Lost, but that makes sense. But the problem is you don't establish that, and you don't foreshadow it highly enough that the dream logic stuff never shows up, and people expect actual answers, and then they never get them.
Yep. Yeah, and they're walking that line in Severance, and I think they're staying on the side of there might be some dream logic happening here. You might want to stay the core, don't think everything's literal. But I'm sure there are people that are like, it's all literal. Here's the exact answer. Like, okay, well, I don't want to know, so I'm not looking, so I don't have that answer. But I think we have the answer for you on youtube.com/what?
at We Were Gamers.
Yeah.
This episode's the answer. That's it.
You can find us on your favorite podcast platform of choice. Give us 5 stars on there. We deserve it. You deserve it to give it to us.
Yeah, so then other people can deserve it with you.
Exactly.
Man.
And tell a friend.
You know what?
You know, if you enjoy us, tell somebody else who you think might enjoy us too.
Text them like, hey, I heard this cool podcast with dudes hanging out, talking about video games and TV and other stuff. And also, hey, I haven't texted you in like 3 months. Let's go out for drinks or whatever. Because, reconnect with your friends.
So, Andy, you're getting a season 2 of Sandman.
Oh, okay.
They're making another season.
I did not look that up, but I'm happy to hear it. That show was rewarding.
Yeah.
Because
hey, I'm glad they did the I think it was episode 4, the contest, which is my favorite scene from the books, from the graphic novels.
The contest.
The oldest.
The game. Yes, where he challenges Brienne of Tarth.
Her too.
You can't ever not think of her as that. It's true. Everything I ever see her in, she always looks like that to me.
Yes. Interesting concept.
I gotta go, guys.
Yeah,
okay.
You should go because it's a spoiler anyway. I guess I'll give him a second to go so I don't spoil him on it. In case he watches
He's
it.
out. Oh yeah.
Interesting concept. Why wouldn't you just go to I am the end of all things to start with?
I'm not sure.
Right? Like, is there rules for the game? Like, you have to start somewhere that isn't at the end, right? Because you'd think the devil had played it enough times to know, like, no one beats me when I say I am the end of the universe. It's just called a transformation chase. So you have to be able to shape shift from something into something else. So you are chasing me and I turn into a dove to fly away from you. So you turn into a hawk. And since you turn into a hawk, I chase you with a bow,
Yeah, you must have to keep some sort of like logical sequence too.
But what's the logical sequence from her to Direwolf? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just it's very lightly explained. I didn't mind it. It was like, okay, this is fun. And obviously it was going to be that the dream is the most powerful thing, right? Or hope or whatever.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
You could kind of see that coming as they were going. It was like, well, the end of this is like light or hope or whatever. Like the thing that is all goodness is the end of this.
Yeah.
But like, how do you not just start there? I guess it wouldn't make sense logically if she started from Direwolf for him to be like, I'm all hope,
Right.
But what starts the game makes no sense to me. But it was cool. It was really fun and well done. The show's well done. I was excited to see it. I was like that the storylines end when they're supposed to, right? Like, okay, I got the gem. That storyline is over.
Right. Yeah. And it's like move into the next storyline. But ooh, that diner scene.
Fuck that.
I had forgotten about it in the as a scene in the graphic novel, but it is it definitely came roaring back.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know how accurate it was to the graphic novel, but none of it to me was like, because I only read, I think, like the first thing. I don't remember the storyline with the vortex.
Okay. Yeah.
But I remember the first one where he loses all his stuff.
Yep. Yeah, definitely an earlier storyline.
Oh, we didn't get to your news.
I just messaged it to you guys.
Oh, they were skipping E3. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
That was rumored last year.